When it comes to the early days of the PlayStation, there are 10 reasons why the little brother is a superior system. Nostalgia goggles on? Let's go! The first reason is the chassis itself, the plastics. The design of the PS1 body is just so satisfying, with every shape balancing out the other to within near perfection. Now I do have a soft spot for the PS2 design, but it's not a patch on the original. For me, that's the best console design of all time. Reason 2 is its far superior boot-up screen. Probably one of the most fondly remembered elements of the PS1, visually and audibly, the boot-up screen is as iconic as it gets. The PS2 one wasn't terrible, but it wasn't a patch on the PS1. In at 3, the PS1 was revolutionary. The jump from 2D to 3D is probably the biggest, most mind-blowing leap in gaming history. Everyone knows the first time they saw those chunky pixels and just thought, wow! The PS2 upped the res, but you can never say it was revolutionary. In at 4 are those all-important game boxes. Although the PS2 ones are far less prone to damage, they don't hit the same as those PS1 boxes. That square artwork with the logo written across the bottom, not to mention the seal of approval bottom left. Everything was perfect. Except when you dropped one and smashed it into a million pieces. When it comes to collecting, a wall of PS1 spines just looked better than a wall of PS2. Facts. In at 5, the PS1 literally fathered the most treasured gaming franchises of today. We're talking Crash, Resident Evil, Silent Hill, Tekken, Metal Gear Solid, and Tomb Raider. The PS2 did get the sequels for these games, but for being a franchise creator, the PS1's the daddy. In at 6, the PS1 actually had better demos. Why? For one, the cover designs look about a gazillion times better and weren't plastered with text that made them look like a newspaper. But even more than that, they all had unique trippy menu screens, whereas the PS2 standardized their menus. It's not for me. In at 7 are those iconic low-poly graphics. Now this is one of my favourite things about the PS1, those jank low-poly graphics that are so unique to that time period. It was the transition between 2D and 3D, growing pains and all. The PS2 doesn't offer anything unique graphically, it's just a much lower res version of what's available today. In at 8, the PS1 got more unique titles. Hell, it was a creative system. By the time the PS2 had landed, companies had realized it was all about the franchises. Whether that was FIFA, Need for Speed, or Burnout. Those littler, weirder games got less of a look in. In at 9 is just the fact that the PS2 tried to make everything 3D. Whereas we actually kinda liked 2D graphics, you know, when it actually worked well for the genre. Take Broken Sword for example. Its foray on the PS2 was in 3D. But who likes 3D point-and-click games? The same with Monkey Island. Okay, so the PS2 wasn't solely responsible for 2D games trying to be 3D, but it was an enabler. In at 10 is the fact that so many franchises saw their heyday on the PS1. To name a few, Crash Bandicoot, Tekken, Wipeout, and Resident Evil. The PS2 literally murdered franchises, with the likes of Wipeout and Crash Bandicoot going missing for years following their foray on the PS2. Hell, the PS2 killed the car combat genre. Okay peeps, that's the lot. So yeah, that was a bit of fun really. I don't hate the PS2, I actually really like the PS2, but I much prefer the PS1, as you can probably tell. Anyway, I'd love to hear your thoughts, if there's anything you disagree with, or if you think there's anything I forgot, or just whatever really. Love to hear from you, please sub, and much love.